Okay, so this week's video is going to be a little bit of a departure. Normally my channel is all about home theater and things like that, and this is actually a topic I just recently covered. I think I shot the video about a month ago, and it's about loud air conditioners. And typically wall units are oppressively loud, and they're terrible, and they're it's just, I hate summer, partially because of the heat, partially because it's hard for me to enjoy home theater. It's loud, it's noisy, it's just terrible. So anyway, the old AC started giving out, and so we switched to this unit, and I wanted to do a specific thing. Now, I talked about going with a dual inverter. I talked about going with a mini split. This is a dual inverter. A mini split air conditioner is a lot better, a lot quieter. The quietest this thing will go is the loudest a mini split will typically go. So a mini split can get under 30 dB. This in its coldest setting will get as low as 44 dB, which is still very quiet, as you'll hear. But the loudest it'll get is 59 dB. Now, I believe that's right. If it's not, I'll put it on the screen what it actually is. But the thing is, what I like about this particular wall unit, and I still would like to try a mini split unit in the future, but what I really like about this is it's a dual inverter unit, and it is the compressor is variable speed. Okay, so it can change based on the need. So it can run the compressor faster, or it can slow it down when you don't need as much. Whereas the old AC, I had a typical Frigidaire, and it was full on or full off. They're both 18,000 BTU units. They're both 230 volt. As you can see, I haven't finished the installation. I still need to put trim around it, things like that. But I just really wanted to do a video on this particular unit because, as you'll see, I'm going to turn it on here, and you'll hear the difference. And I did a video before, and I'll overlay that so you can hear how loud that was. And now we'll turn this unit on, and I'm going to make it as fast as it'll go on fan 3. Put it on cool, and it's got kind of a neat startup and everything like that. It's different than your normal AC unit, I think. And it takes just a minute to turn on, but I'm in the same position I was in when I was running the last AC unit that you heard. Now, that's a much quieter startup, I'll tell you that. So that's as loud as this AC unit gets. And the thing is, the compressor's fully on because it's, well, actually, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure about that. It may not be running at full speed. In fact, let me put it at 66 just so it's for sure going to be running at full speed. But there's no hard kick-in engage for the compressor. It's like a soft start. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm really impressed with this AC unit. I'm impressed with the way it sounds. You can also change the fan speed. So I'll go down to the lowest fan speed setting, and you'll hear it dial down. So it gets a little quieter. Now that's pretty darn good. I haven't gotten out the measurements and measured the actual sound levels, but I can tell you it is far better than the typical AC unit. And these things go for about 550 bucks. As I understand it, this unit is the only unit that acts like a mini split in the sense that it has a variable speed compressor. So that's really cool. Now, my favorite feature here is what's called the sleep function. And so the sleep function, you can run it up to 7 hours, okay? And after 7 hours, it'll shut off. I wish you could just leave it on the sleep function, because it would be great to just leave it like this all the time. But as you can hear, it's really winding down. And so I'm not having to speak as much. It's still on. And their claim of 45 dB or 44 dB, I believe it. And I want to point out too, I am not affiliated with LG. I've had a couple of their TVs. I really like them, but I don't have an affiliation with them or anything like that. However, I do have Amazon and stuff like that. So if you guys are at all curious about this thing and you want to help me out, please follow the links down below and order these on Amazon. And a lot of times you can get them shipped Prime and stuff like that. But for people with home theater that have a wall unit that they need to replace, and they can't quite do the mini split, because the mini split is a lot more complicated, honestly, just a lot more complicated to install. And that was kind of the decision to go with this unit to start with. But I am really impressed with the quietness of this particular unit. I am really happy with it. It's also got an energy saver feature where it'll kick on every 3 minutes, just the fan alone, just to check and sample the air and give a good sample, instead of a lot of these AC units that will just kind of stay a certain temperature and they won't really sample the air. Anyway, it's a pretty good thing. But I'll get even closer here so you can hear it. In fact, I'll put the mic up to it. That's right there. That's really quiet. For a wall AC unit, that is outstanding. For an 18,000 BTU unit, that's outstanding. And that's, that's the airflow, so it's obviously going to be louder, but this is right under the unit, the intake and stuff like that. So, honestly, I've been really impressed. And like I said, as far as I know, at the moment, this is the only variable speed compressor wall AC unit out there that I'm aware of. There might be others, but I tried to find information on this thing, and there's not a lot of videos on it. There are some reviews where people are really happy with it, but as of this moment, as of me shooting this video, there's nothing on Amazon. There's no reviews on Amazon, but there should be. This is a really awesome unit. Like I said, not that much more expensive than a regular wall unit, and it should also be more efficient energy-wise, because of it being able to vary the compressor speed and only run the amount of power it needs to run to do the amount of cooling you need to do. And I gotta say too, I was concerned because it's a quieter unit, doesn't seem to push out that much more air. I think the other, I think the Frigidaire unit I had in here before might have pushed out more air, but who knows? It may not have. It's, loudness makes it sound like more air is moving, so I'm not entirely sure on that. But I have a little temperature thing here, and I mean, it tells you, what it's been. So 73 has been the warmest it's been in here, and 68's been the coldest. Honestly, I think the reason it was 68 is because it was set next to a glass with ice. But I've been keeping this right next to my chair, and it has kept the temperature really even. When I did this the other day, it was just 72 and 72 for 24 hours. It had stayed perfect. So again, with the other AC, I had more dramatic swings. I think it was kind of going out. I think it's been going out for about a year. So, we were actually getting up to, it got up to 81 degrees in here, which for me is just way too hot. But anyway, I just want to do a video on this AC unit because I'm, if you can't tell, really happy about it. Really happy about it because right now it's nothing but 100-degree days every day, and that's kind of taking its toll on me. And so when the other AC was given out, it's just terrible. So I was pretty miserable. Wasn't able to shoot videos and things like that because it's too loud. Now with this thing, I mean, just give me some honest feedback here. If I'm shooting like this is my normal position, does it sound too loud? Is it too distracting? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys have one of these, let me know. And also, if you know of other wall AC units that are, 230 volt, bigger units, so 18,000 BTU and up, that are under 50 decibels, or that are capable of going under 50 decibels, please let me know. The biggest thing I'll say is one thing I could not find out. I called LG. I was trying to find this out. I wanted to know, does it actually cool in sleep mode? Is it just, because sleep mode's very quiet, and it's got all these specs that are kind of confusing. It says high, medium, low, and it's like 58 decibels, 54 decibels, 52 decibels, and then it says sleep at 44, I think, 44, 45. The thing is, I'm like, well, okay, but is it still cooling at sleep? On the sleep mode, is it still cooling off the room? And yes, absolutely it is. So in sleep mode, the quietest possible mode, it does still run the compressor. It does still keep the room temperature nice. If it's a really hot day, it may not, depending on the size of your room, how well insulated it is, blah, 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 you may need to kick it back on. But anytime I watch a movie, I'm going to put this on sleep mode. It makes everything a lot easier to hear. Another neat thing to know is that the 22,000 BTU unit is the exact same size. So if you'll notice, I haven't finished the installation here. Part of that is because I want to make sure that I didn't need to go to the 22,000 BTU unit. Part of that was I didn't know what was, because of the way these things are installed in the wall, I wasn't sure whether I had an 18,000 BTU or a 22 or 24,000 BTU unit in here prior. And if that was having a hard time cooling it down, I might need to switch up to the 22,000. Fortunately, this is about a 24 by 24 space, and this 18,000 BTU unit's taking care of it perfectly. So time to finish everything in. So, but anyway, I just thought this was a really cool unit, and I think it's well worth talking about. The quietness of it is amazing, and when you turn it off, it's got all these neat little bells and whistles. But that gives you an idea. That's with the unit completely off, everything completely off. All you can hear now is the refrigerator running. So, I mean, yeah, a mini split's going to be a lot better in terms of loudness. Again, in quiet mode, that's the loudest, at least the mini splits I've been looking at will go. Typically 45 dB is their max. Some go as low as 29, some even lower, some will even go down as low as 20. As far as efficiency goes, this is going to be better than a typical wall unit. A mini split's going to be even better, I think. I can't say that for sure, but I think just the way everything's designed, I think a mini split would do better in terms of energy costs and things like that. So anyway, this was way longer than I intended it to be, but again, I'm just gushing over this thing. I am so happy with it. It's quiet and cool at the same time, which hasn't happened for me for about 6-7 years. So I'm really, really pleased with it. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe.
afternoon.